The Daily Graphic, big relief for parents. Harmonized prospectus for senior high school freshers. So now you know what to buy. You don't have to wait for the placement to come. There, GSS, it is there. Keep it. When the child is ready, buy these things. I'll tell you.
Buy them small.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what it is you need to buy. High expectations for budget today. That's on page 13. Labadi Beach Hotel pays 25 million Ghana Citi dividend to SNIT. But I hear they've lost a lot of the beachfronts that they originally had.
Why? Sea erosion or what?
No. People have, other businesses which normally were not supposed to be there have appeared there. So now they have just like 2 acres.
Charlie, land matter for this country.
Let
me take you to the finder. The big story says Giadek and Rockshaw present MRE report to Nanado. Bauxite deficits increase in Ninahin from estimated 250 to 375 million metric tons in Block B. Everything is in that headline. Also, we're told public sector workers to enjoy up to 25% base pay rise in 2024. And then this update, Community 5 land acquired in 1984, not earmarked as a football park. The story was in the news sometime back. And reparations demand is for justice, not a plea for arms. This coming in from the president. And Second Lady Baumia takes inclusion of women in climate fight to Harvard University.
Front page of the Ghanaian Publisher comes the president and his call for reparations. He's been making that call for quite some time now. NCCE to Ghanaians, vote against any party that spreads religious hatred. Kathleen Addy, NCCE chairperson, is at the front. Hey, Kathleen, long time no see you. And then government secures 50 million euro funds for La Hospital project, according to the health minister. Oh, this one. Concentrate on your butterfly, not Baumia. Akumia replies, Allah.
The Ghanaian Times says this morning, 2024 budget, growth strategy to impact the youth. And the Minister for Finance is here in his white. Are we? As if he's going to Pojema. Also, government secures new funding source for General Hospital construction. Looks like the Ghanaian Times is almost always very late with some of these major stories. Like, maybe they have too much stories that, they sometimes.
But even that,
do it small.
Even that.
Yeah.
To be up to date.
Yeah, and then also at the Creation Africa Ghana launch, government committed to supporting creative industry to create wealth.
Yes. This happened at the French ambassador's residence.
On the front page of the new Publisher, Charlie, haram money. Return 6 million Ghana Cedi bet cash. Clerics tell broke man. Oh,
Charlie,
that's on the front page. And West Blue drags Jerry to court for refusing to pay contract arrears. The man wins 6 million Ghana Cedi.
Hey,
the people,
don't
church
touch
people
that
say for return the money.
The Chronicle says Akumia wants Alan halt the attack on Baumia. Also on the front page, Africa diaspora strategize for payment of reparations. And then Imani boss falls in love with Alan's GTP. And Tafo Moro Market traders refuse to relocate for reconstruction.
The front page of the Enquesta is heavily focused on the West Blue and Ghana Revenue Authority saga. Matipoko Prempes on the front page of the paper.
Hey. The Daily Post says this morning, your legacy of love remains relevant to all the lives you touched, says Egypt Kudoto, as he eulogizes late Jifa Ativo on the 2nd anniversary of her death. May her soul continue to rest in perfect peace. This one says, minority catches Akufo-Addo Bawumia government stealing another NDC Mahama government project. But how do you steal a project, though?
Maybe you appropriate it and pass it off as yours.
And XC, which is the Supreme Court, directs Ken Kranchi to submit to practical legal training as he throws out suit against Mahama.
Yeah, I saw that story. He's going to find a legal master or something.
Oh, that one happened.
Practice on the front page of the paper. Republic Press also reporting that the government now has 50 million euros for the General Hospital project. That is not what it is. They should go and build it.
That's it. All this talk around.
The Today newspaper says Ghanaians pay last respect to Theresa Kufuor, former First Lady of the Republic. May her soul rest in peace. And uncontrolled corruption has taken over Ghana. Catholic bishops are lamenting and are directing the president or asking the president to do something about it. And Oforiatta, as we do know, will be presenting the budget for 2024 today to Parliament.
And finally, from me, the front page of the Daily Guide as well, dealing with West Blue versus GRA.
And the Daily Analyst has stories including what the finance minister will be doing before Parliament, what the Catholic bishops are saying about corruption in Ghana, and then insightful broadcast. NMC gives final warning to Onia TV following verbal attacks on Chief of Defense Staff.
All right, if you go online, citynewsroom.com is leading with the finance minister in Parliament today. In line with that, Professor John Gache is telling government prioritize revenue mobilization in 2024 budget. Commercial drivers divided over calls for reintroduction of road tolls. And the president is demanding an apology for crimes committed during slave trade. And Ken Kranche wants case challenging Mohammed's presidential ambition re-prosecuted. Public workers to enjoy 23% pay rise in 2024. And I don't think you guys have the Herald, do you?
No.
You don't? Okay, so the Herald's front page, at least I have an image of it. It says, ex-speaker's bungalow loot in 2009 lands in court. They also have the West Blue story. And Ohene Nto, Boniface Sadiq, others sacked from MPP. Then they have Ken Oforiatta to read the budget. If you go back to the online portals, the business page on citynewsroom.com, they also have the commercial drivers being divided over the reintroduction of road tolls. Godfred Dami is also here. He says NAM1 gave police 2.5 million CDs, not 5 million CDs as stated. And then abandoned Crofro market. Traders threaten demo, call for inclusion of project in 2024 budget. If you go to myjoyonline.com, the post-IMF Ghanaian economic crisis required strategic response from the 2024 budget. And then organized labor government settle on 23% base pay increment for 2024. And then a former NPP MP is slamming Franklin Kujo. He says, we don't need your advice to win an election. So those are some of the stories there. And on the international side of things, there's a live ticker. Israeli forces enter Gaza's main hospital. So the IDF says they are carrying out a targeted operation there. And Xi Jinping arrives in the US as his Chinese dream sputters. That's according to the BBC. And Brazil gripped by an unbearable heat wave. So looks like things are hot, literally, in Brazil.
Let me start off then with this West Blue story. Seems to be everywhere. Versus the GRA, lots of money involved. So I'll give you details from the Daily Guide's version of the story on page 3. It says that Ghanaian ICT firm West Blue Ghana yesterday filed a suit against the Attorney General and the Ghana Revenue Authority demanding to be paid an amount of 289 million Ghana cedis, which the plaintiff described as overdue arrears for contractual work it did under the National Single Window and Integrated Risk Management Systems. According to West Blue, though the NSW contract is signed with the government of Ghana, categorically stated that the company will be paid a fee equal to 0.35% of the final invoice value of import consignments entering into Ghana through the seaports, airports, and land borders. It's ended up being paid a fee equivalent to only 0.28% instead of the agreed percentage. The rate explained that in a series of letters dated January 25, 2018, 2018 and February 4, 2019 and March 14, 2019 respectively, the then Deputy Finance Minister Kuku Kwarteng alluded to West Blue's contract price of 0.35% and subsequently reduced the fee to 0.28% of the final invoice CIF value of all imports. West Blue, however, through its lawyers, Bensi Angel, Lecha and Ankoma, and Africa Legal Association, heavyweights power. The Ministry of Finance, the two law firms have come together to change this matter. Okay, Jerry. So that seems to be the case at the moment. So case we'll see how it goes.
I don't know why they couldn't resolve this matter, amicably. Because when this whole transaction was beginning so many years ago, we were looking into it on this network, and raising all kinds of issues. Well, the government decided to go ahead with it. So if you committed yourself to it, pay the people. It's as simple as that. Unless there are some compelling reasons why you don't want to pay, and this whole idea you do and then judgment debts, and the people of Ghana have to pay for it again. I don't know why people sit in office and do these things. Let's be a little more responsible in how we handle the public first. Because we raise issues with the transaction.
Yep.
Anyway, let me take you to the Chronicle because not the Chronicle, the Ghanaian Times, because we're staying in the courts. Ken Kranchi's suit against John Mahama's presidential bid dismissed. Now, Malik Suleiman writes that the Supreme Court yesterday asked the editor of the Daily Searchlight newspaper, Ken Kwabena Ejay Kranchi, to find a master and learn his legal trade. Justice Yoni Kulendi, a member of the member panel of judges that presided over the case, gave his advice to Mr. Kranchi, who filed a suit asking the court to stop former President John Dramani Mahama from contesting the 2024 general election. Ghanaian Times, please do a little more proofreading because there are some, errors you see in the story which should not be happening. Now, consequently, the SC struck out the suit as it was defective and failed to properly invoke the jurisdiction of the court. Now, the panel, presided over by Chief Justice Gertrude Araba Tokonu, said it was satisfied that the plaintiff's writ is quote-unquote defective after failing to file statement of case within time as per the rules of court. So this was a technical dismissal of the case, not exactly litigating or determining the actual matters that he had brought before court. Meanwhile, though...
Just stay with that. The update is that Ken Kranchi says he will reinstitute legal proceedings against the eligibility of former President John Mahama to contest the next election. Now, this follows the dismissal of his suit against Mr. Mahama by the Supreme Court. Now, the court said the suit was flawed, and Ken Kranchi, who was speaking on Eyewitness News, he said he had learned his lessons and was going to correct them. And he said, quote, "I still believe that the gravamen of the case that I intend to prosecute still stands. I still believe that the case should be re-prosecuted."
I mean, with the greatest respect, I don't really think that there's any matter there. John Mahama is entitled to seek another term. That's my respectful view. But then again, the law is within the bosom of the judges. But Ken Kranchi, I think if he has some good time on his hands, I would advise you try something more useful. In the meantime, though, page 3 of the Ghanaian Times has a story: 100,000 Ghana Citi bounty for information on missing Lands Commission staff. Charlie, there's some money there to be made. Christmas is coming.
Yes,
now the family...
story. Really sad.
Yeah, Charlie, some way. The family of the missing Lands Commission staff, Rodeling Amwa Dako, has announced a 100,000 bounty for information that will lead to her whereabouts. Now, Rodeling Amwa, 32, a mother of 2, who was a senior lands administration officer, has been missing since 2021. That's a long time. Now, her husband, Dr. Wilberforce Agri, a lecturer at the Petroleum Department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, who has been accused of kidnapping the wife, is on trial at the Kumasi High Court for kidnapping and deceit of public officers. And it goes on to say that Dr. Agri has been granted a 300,000 Ghana Cedi bail. He is in court with 2 others, Justice Apia and Yawa Champo, who traded the Infinix mobile handset of Rodelin. Something really is, in happening around this particular story, because since this first came out, there were all kinds of permutations and allegations and claims. The matter is still in court, though, but the woman cannot be found. Now, the question is whether she can be found alive or something has happened to her. And these are very, very difficult times for the family. So please, if you have any information that would lead to her location, please make that information available. The good news will be that we'll be able to find her in whatever state that she will be in.
Bring
closure to the family. Another thing is that there's 100,000 Ghana cedis there. So if you have that information, please make it available.
Let me take you to the front page of the Daily Graphic. Big relief for parents. Harmonized prospectus for senior high school freshers. So the first ever harmonized prospectus for senior high school and technical schools in the country has been introduced by the Ghana Education Service. The innovation, codenamed National Prospectus, is designed for all prospective first-year students to eliminate any ambiguity regarding the requirements of fresh students. Under the new arrangement, all schools are expected to adhere to the National Prospectus without imposing any extra items apart from what has been officially prescribed. So, for instance, in Category 1, basic needs must have. A parent is supposed to provide a hard body suitcase or trunk, chop box, decent sandals, toiletries. That's 1 deodorant, 1 pack, tea roll, toothpaste, toothbrush, soap, pomade, 2 packs of sanitary towels for girls, 1 pajamas or sleepwear, plastic bucket and pail, and the rest. Quite an exhaustive list, 25 items that you need to pursue. Now, the Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Dr. Eric Nkansa, also advised schools not to admit students based on their ability to procure all the items, but urged parents to try and procure the items as outlined in the prospectus because we have reduced the list to the barest minimum. So schools says, please let the children come, even if they have not been able to buy all the things.
Let the children come to me like Jesus Christ. Let me take you to the Chronicle. There is a story here. Akomia wants Alan. So we are doing hardcore politics now. 2024 is around the corner. Halt the attack on Baumia. Charlie. And Baumia is sitting here wearing suit and warning whoever is attacking. You know the finger you do when you are warning somebody. The story is by Maxwell Ofori on page 3 of the Chronicle. Says that the chief executive officer of the state transport company, Nana Akomia, is not happy with the founder of the movement for Ghana, Alan Kojo Shamanting. He is unhappy about what he thinks are unwarranted attacks on the presidential candidate of the ruling New Patriotic Party by Mr. Shamanting. Now, speaking on Peace FM's Kokro program on Tuesday, November 14, 2023, Nana Akomia advised the presidential candidate, Alan Shamanting, to concentrate on his core campaign message for Ghanaians. He explained that whereas attacking Dr. Baumia might not be to Alan's advantage, his message will be of interest to the Ghanaian electorate. Now, we do know that the former trade minister has been, critiquing the MPP, how they handle the governance of this country and all of that. And he says that he's the man to provide solutions to our problems. But Nana Akomia is saying, Madam, please concentrate on your butterfly.
Let me take you to the front page of the Republic Press, where residents of Lioness environs can finally breathe a sigh of relief as recent developments have brought good news regarding the much-needed reconstruction of the La General Hospital. This news comes as a glimmer of hope after the majority leader recently announced a lack of funds for the project, leaving the community despondent. However, a recent breakthrough has paved the way for the reconstruction, bringing renewed optimism and improved healthcare prospects for the area. The Minister of Health, Kukwaju Amenu, yesterday announced that the government has secured a funding of 50 million euros to rebuild the La General Hospital. This announcement comes after a period of uncertainty and delays in the reconstruction of the project. Look, we've had too much lip service paid to this project.
Yes.
People came with a budget of 60-something million. Now it's 50 million, no problem. Go and build the thing. There's no glimmer of hope until you have we can actually see something being done.
Get down to
on site.
I agree with you fully, except that there's a saying in my language that you call you, they may not call you. Go to hospital. It doesn't go to hospital. Collect and go to hospital. That's what it takes you to hospital. So go and build. They must find the money.
Yes.
Okay.
They should go and build.
Okay. Now there's something about bauxite. Maybe that will give us the money to go and pay for this hospital that is unfortunate. Now, page 2 of the Finder newspaper has that story. Bauxite deposits increase in Nyinehin. And the story by the editor, Elvis Dako in Accra, says that the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation, which is GIADEC, and Rockshore International have recently conducted a mineral resource estimate, which is MRE, revealing that bauxite deposits in Nyinehin Block B, the 3 hills in there, are estimated to be a minimum of 375 million metric tons. Now, this represents almost appreciable 50% increase from historically estimated figures of around 250 million metric tons in hills 4, 5, and 6. And yesterday they presented a report on the matter to the president, and it would seem that some good money will be made from this. But we just hope that the money will be put to proper use. Oil has come in. We don't know what the money has been used for. And we are going bauxite. And lithium is also coming.
Final story from me, Nathan. It's from the sports page of the Daily Graph. A crowd of people have signed Martinus Koopman. So he becomes the 23rd coach they have hired since 1998. I saw him dancing in some photo.
When he was first hired.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, guys, that's how we end the segment. Thank you, Godfred. Thank you, Richard. Coming up next is